All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Emma Explores Everything. I don't know, I got just really nervous when I just started there. I am here this week with my new BFF, BB AppleHoney, which is maybe the cutest name I've ever heard in my life.
Oh,
So,
you're
how are
so.
you doing, BB?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have some new lights this week, all set up and shining blue, so I feel
I see
very
them.
professional.
It looks very professional. Super. It highlights your beautiful face.
Oh, I put makeup on for this episode too. I don't
Oh,
know if
so did
any.
I.
Usually I'm just like a troll for these episodes, but I was like, let me put some effort in today. Okay, so every week on this podcast, we talk about a different topic that is generally safe for work, sometimes not. But this week, we are doing a topic starting with the letter I. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the internet first, and then introversion, and then how it all kind of mixes together. But
Perfect.
my first question for you is, do you have like a first memory of getting on the internet?
Hmm. Kind of, yes. And it was shocking because it was like a flash. And I was like super nervous. I didn't show my face. I was like, it was for Reddit. And I was like, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do
Yeah,
anything. And the reaction that I got was just like, it was kind of like mind blowing because you're like, whoa, like that's what real people think. Like,
yeah,
you don't expect a good reaction when you're a bigger girl. You expect just hate
yeah, yeah.
right out the gate. And that's not what I got, which was
And there's a little bit
shocking.
of that safety net too when you're like not showing your face, so it's like no
Oh yeah.
consequences. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because at first, yeah, my husband was like, "No face," but I was like, as a bigger girl, you hear your whole life, "You have such a pretty face."
mhm.
So I was like, I have to show my face. Like I have to. If I don't show it, it's not me.
Right. You do have
So,
a pretty face though. I mean,
oh,
I feel
you're
like
so.
it would be a disservice if we didn't get to see it, but I totally understand like the comfort level is it has to be worked up to, I think, for a lot of
A
people.
little bit. I did it for like the first few posts, and then I was just like emboldened, and I was like, you know what? Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's who I am anyway. Like if somebody finds it, it's my body. It's me. Like
Were
I
you
just
like posting it to try to sell, or was that just kind of like something you were doing for yourself, like a confidence boost?
yeah, it was just like a confidence thing. It was kind of like um it was like a relationship thing. It was like I knew that he used Reddit, and I was like, you know what? Like, I can be one of those girls. So I was like, I'm
That's
gonna
so
do it.
cute.
So
Yes.
I did it, and I was like, it took me, what was it? It was probably 4 or 5 months, and I was like, wow, these other girls, they're selling, they're doing all these things. I was
Yeah.
like, I can do that too. And
Yeah.
at first, he was like, oh, like I don't want you to be disappointed. I don't want you to get your hopes up. And it just made me like fight harder because I was like, oh,
Yes.
okay, you think I can't do it? Then I'm gonna do it.
I love that mindset of, oh, you think I'm going to be disappointed? I'm going to blow your mind.
Oh, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going and see how far I can go.
And so when I started out, I did the same thing. I was posting faceless pictures, and I remember immediately because I wasn't on Reddit, I was on Discord servers. Um,
Mm,
and so I was getting like DMs all the time of like people asking me if I sold content. And at the time I
yeah,
didn't. And that's kind of like what got me started, like setting up an OnlyFans and all of that. Did you have that kind of experience too, where people like asking for more from you?
I did, and it was a lot of like, hey, do you do custom content or do you sell pre-made content? And I was like looking at my husband like, I have no idea what this means. Like, I don't know what any of it means. So I started looking into it, and I was kind of blown away because I didn't realize, like, I was just a wife and a mom. Like, I didn't realize that this whole lifestyle like existed.
Yeah.
And it opened up the conversation to where I was like, you know what? let's just try it and see where it goes. It might be fun, it might not go anywhere, but like let's at least see.
And were you otherwise a stay-at-home mom, or did you have another job?
Oh no, I still work full time.
You do. You work full time
I
and
do.
you're a
I
mom
work full
and you're a
time.
content creator. That's so
Yeah.
much. Good for you.
It's hard, but
Yeah.
I try to keep it fun because it's still very much like, even though I'm making money and it's helping with everything in life in general, it's still like it's like a hobby. It's fun. Like I
Mhm.
enjoy doing it. And it makes me want to grow it more so I can see how far I can take it. So hopefully I can like lessen my workload and just do
Right.
what I love doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good too that you have like a few different income streams because for I've been burnt out a few times doing this and
Oh yeah.
having a few different things coming in when I want to take a break. Like I used to do phone sex a lot, so I got really burnt out from doing that. So
Same
doing
with video. I did
videos and
video calls, and
yeah, so you get it. You get it. Sometimes it's
oh
just
yeah,
like you need a break. But having something else that still has money coming in so you don't have to do anything is really nice.
it is. But see, I do that too with like with my regular job. I get so burnt out, so I look forward to staying up late and talking
Yeah.
to everyone, and it has its moments. It flip flops. So it's like burnout at work, burnout doing content. It's like it has its moments, and I feel sometimes I feel overwhelmed because there's never a time to make content unless I stay up super late.
Yeah, I bet.
So it's become me time. After 8 is me time.
I love that. And looking at your Twitter, I see you're posting like all the time. So I think you're
Oh
doing
yeah.
really good. Like
Oh
running your
yeah.
social media is like,
Oh, I try. I post at work a lot. I post at work a lot, but a lot of people like that. So it's like
yeah,
hiding under my desk. Like, like I just took
yeah.
like a picture in the bathroom. Like, I'm gonna upload this one.
So what year was it when you like kind of started doing all of this?
So I started Reddit. It was November of 21, and then I
Okay.
started OnlyFans in January of 22.
So you're still kind of fresh, not
Still
brand
kind of
new,
new.
but
Yeah,
that's
I'm still
awesome.
learning.
Yeah, I'm only a little bit behind you. I started posting online in 2019 and my OnlyFans
Okay.
started in 2020, so it got me through the pandemic really nicely.
Oh yeah, I bet. I wish I would have started sooner. I If you would have asked me if I'd be doing this like like a solid 2 years ago, I would have been like, "You're out of your mind." And I really wish someone would have like introduced it to me sooner.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people say that like everybody that's in like the normal world is like always trying to feel sorry for us, but honestly, like there are very few people that I talk to that do amateur work that are like regret what they do. They love it.
Yeah,
It's
I've talked to people too, and they're like, they talk to me like I'm oppressed and like I need help, and I'm like, I'm having fun. Like I'm 30 years old. This is a
yeah.
fun time. Leave me alone.
And you're doing it from your house, right? Like,
Yeah,
or
I
an
do it in my
Airbnb.
house. Yeah, in public, like I'm exploring with my husband at the same time, so it's
Mhm.
like it's just fun.
It's
It's just
awesome.
like people don't like they'll s- they don't understand. I don't think like the fetish lifestyles or the swinging or the hot wife lifestyles. No one really talks about it unless you're in a community already.
Right, right.
It's very silent.
It is, and I think people are just kind of uncomfortable with it, and it brings up their
Right.
own insecurities that they want to like push on other people. So it's
And
hard.
that was me before. That was I've opened up so much because I didn't understand porn used to be bad to me. Like I was very like, oh, like porn is cheating, like,
Yeah,
and then you talk about it more, and you start doing different things, and it just kind of opens your mind up to like, wait a second, like it's all okay. It's all gonna be okay.
yeah. It's all about like communicating, right?
Oh, community.
Seriously, like
Oh, people. communicate for a world that talks as much. Communication is still like the most underrated thing ever.
Yes, 100%. So we've totally gone off internet, but that's okay.
That's
Okay,
kind of goes hand in hand a little bit.
so you're 30, so
Okay.
you were like around for early like AOL and all of that. Do
Oh
you,
yeah.
so when did you first like get online in that way, in the sense of just like using a computer? What was that? When was that?
Oh, we're jumping into a fun one. I let's see. I definitely had an AOL. I dabbled a lot with like Omegle. I was big on Omegle.
Oh, really? I see that.
I because it was anonymous, like you could pretend to be anyone. You didn't have to be yourself. You didn't have to show yourself anything. So you could talk to everyone.
Yeah.
And being an expert, being an introvert, being shy, being inexperienced, all of that stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to dive in. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I was even like a catfish back in the day. I had fake profiles. I was, oh, I had, there used to be an account, it was called Moku Space.
Oh, I don't even know that.
And it was like MySpace meets AOL chat rooms.
Ooh.
So, like, me and my friend, we pretended to be this girl and we had taken pictures off the internet, which is so against what I'm doing now. And we pretended to be like this pretty, thin, emo girl because,
Mm-hmm.
why not? Everybody was doing it back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like my first step into like sexting or sending pictures and like just like little things like that. So I've always kind of had that side of me, but I was always hiding
Mm-hmm.
behind the internet. Like I was always
Yeah.
hiding in the shadows because I was always insecure about. I've always been a big girl, and it
Yeah.
wasn't super accepted back then,
Oh no.
especially on.
Oh no.
People were so mean.
Yeah, I feel like when you and I were growing up, because I'm only a few years, I'm 27, so we're kind of around the
Okay.
same age.
Yeah.
And when we were growing up, it was like still very that early 2000s, like heroin chic, kind of stick
Yeah.
thin,
Oh my god.
horrible.
I
So,
want to be those girls so bad.
oh my God, I know. So getting online, and like as a shy person, like interacting and being introverted, interacting in real life is very draining, but there's something about that screen being in between you and other people that makes it so much easier to have the energy to like
Makes you
carry
bold.
conversations. Yes, to be bold and just say whatever you want to say. Like it
Right.
really, I would say it helped develop who I am when I do have my like extroverted moments, you know?
I I think so too. I think it helps a lot actually. It's that background noise in my mind going, you know what? Like you're online. It's not real life. Just do
Yeah,
it.
which can get you in trouble sometimes. I mean, like I've definitely done
Oh,
things. I My first memory of using a computer was my grandmother's computer in her living room. She had AOL. It was like really new. And I was in like the kids' chat room because I don't even know, like 6. And I was just talking, and somebody was like talking about lesbians. And oh, are you a lesbian? Emma Puff was my name. Emma Puff, are you a lesbian? And I was like, no, are you a lesbian? And then like the conversation like went on, blah, blah, blah. By the way, I totally like girls, so I was lying. But, but,
that's okay. We all listen. All women secretly
yes.
like girls.
Oh my God. Yeah. Don't get me
Oh my god.
started. But so I completely was like, okay, that's over. No big deal. A few days later, my grandmother got an email from AOL that was like, user Emma Puff on the AOL Kids website was saying like inappropriate activities. Her account is locked for this amount of time. Here's a screenshot of what she
Oh,
said, but it just showed me saying, "Are you a lesbian?" and it didn't show anything else. So my
oh my
whole
god.
family now thinks like what is she doing on the internet? Who is she talking to?
Um, that's the best story. That's so much better than mine. I, I never got caught with anything, but that was only because I grew up in a household where my mom and my stepdad, they didn't care. Like, as long as you
Yeah.
did it at home, they were cool. They wanted to be the cool parents. So
Hmm.
I never like had anything checked or anything like that. Everything I did it like behind my bedroom door.
Yeah.
So they didn't care. I did a bunch of things. Not even AOL. I signed up. I don't know if you had it where you're from, but like here in Florida, every street corner, the cities would have these like signs that would say online dating and then the city that you were in. And then it would be
Oh,
a
I don't
website.
remember that.
So you could just make a username on the website for that city.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'd be like 16, 15, 16, going on, making accounts and talking to people.
Yeah.
Because I was so
Oh,
curious. People don't realize like how curious that age is. Like,
oh my God. Yes.
and I would go on and I'd talk to people and I'd like, it would just, it was like an ongoing thing because I was like, I'm at home, I'm alone, I have no experience. Like, it was just fun. It was fun.
Honestly, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I was definitely online, way young, catfishing as somebody who was
Oh,
at
yeah.
18, you know.
Oh, yeah. Complete. I've
You
even
learn a
had
lot. You learn a
experiences.
lot.
Yeah, like talking to somebody who knew I was that age. Hindsight, no, no. Back then, it was like, oh my god, it's this cool older dude. He knows what I look like. He knows what I am. Like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy because you think now as an adult, you're like, oh my god, that was terrible. Like, it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
But in that moment, when you're that age and you're doing it online, you're like, there's no repercussions. We're
Yeah.
online. Nothing's gonna
What's
happen.
the worst that could happen?
Oh, it's actually funny because I met my husband online.
Really?
We met at 16. It was actually, I don't even think the app's around anymore. It used to be an app on the Apple Store called Who's Around.
No.
And it let you talk to people who were in like the same area as you. And he was like the same age as me. We're like a month apart. We met. We went to the mall. You know, he dated a few people in between, and now we're
Yeah.
married, 2 kids. Like 13 years later, I look back and I'm going, that was psychotic. I can't believe
Yes.
our parents let us do this.
You were on an app that was like, here are people around you that can now
Right.
know that you live here and find
And
you.
let's talk.
And it worked out for you. I mean,
It
that's the most
it
impressive
did.
part.
It's pretty it's I still think about it and I'm like, that's insane. Like his stepmom, my mom, they dropped us off, and we're like, we don't like. He lied to his. My mom knew. I was like, I don't know him. Like I met him online. Like I don't know him.
Your mom was so cool and maybe foolish a little bit about the dangers of the internet.
Oh my god, my mom was like everybody's friend. Like I had friends that come over and they're like your mom is the best.
Oh
Like
my
they could
god.
care less about me. It's like your mom is like top tier.
They're coming over to
Always.
see your mom, not you.
Always. It always happened to me. But yeah. A lot of lessons learned being a mom myself. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, back then, I think my parents definitely didn't know what the dangers of the internet were, like
Oh,
there
for
was
sure.
like PSAs, but it wasn't like the knowledge that we have now that there's danger lurking. It was just like, "Oh, go
Oh,
ahead, kids, do whatever you want."
completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like that. It was like that or like, oh, as long as like I'm around, you're safe. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, like you're sitting here next to me in the room over there on your computer, but
you're
on this
good.
computer, all kinds of stuff are happening.
Yes. So much stuff.
But I have to say, like, I don't think I would go back and change any of my introduction to the internet
Oh yeah.
or sex or the adult side of things. Like, I like that I had the freedom to just Google anything. Like back then, you could just Google what is submissive, and it wasn't like Pornhub submissive, submissive. It was like a website like submissive.com. Everything you need to know, you
Oh
know.
yeah, I learned so much from just Tumblr. I'm
Oh,
30 years
girl.
old. I'm still on Tumblr. I can't get away from it. It's like
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
it's evolved so much over the years, but it's still like it was always the place to go. Like to
Oh yeah.
learn anything, to see anything.
Anything.
And even now with all their filters, you can still see anything.
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
spent a good 10 years on Tumblr back before anything was like blocked, and it was
oh, me too.
wild. It was the Wild West. But
So I used to have like I had my likes hidden so I could go back and find those specific Tumblr accounts.
so is that kind of what got you? Well, I guess I don't know if you're like into porn, like as a watcher, or do you enjoy looking?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I for a long time I hid it because like my thoughts on porn versus like how do I describe like my personal opinion on porn versus like what I actually thought or told people were so different. I felt like I can't tell anybody because it's like
Yeah.
it's personal. It's
Hmm.
like
It's
you just
shameful. It's a
you
secret.
bury it down.
Yeah.
But it's made it so much better now because now I know like I can actually explore and I can look and I can find like okay, I don't actually like that. I like this.
Yes. Yeah.
I like this body type. I like this sort of scenario. Like
Hmm.
it opens up your mind so much more and it's not even just like your sexual mind. It opens up a lot of doors in your personal life and you don't even realize what it's doing to you.
I agree. I totally agree. Tumblr was where I got into like actually like porn, like images. Like I had like
Yeah.
read sexy stories online, but like
I
Tumblr
love
porn was,
stories.
oh my God, yeah. I get guys all the time like, how can I get my girlfriend like into like porn or something like that? And I'm like, you
Oh,
need to start
right.
with stories. Start
Yeah.
with the reading. Yes.
There used to be a website. It was like sexstories.com. And I hid it from my husband for years. And like he was hiding porn from me. But I was like, I'd be online and I'd be like, before I called him in the bedroom, I'd look up a story and I'd read it. And I was good. I was like, can you come in here for a second? That's all I
I
needed. I
love
just
that so much.
books. Like,
Yeah. It's amazing. Like women will be like, my boyfriend better never ever watch porn. And then they'll be like, but 50 Shades of Grey was like the best book ever.
oh, it was
Like,
so
girl,
good.
what are you doing?
Oh my God. At the time, that book was wild. I used to look over at him going, I'm sorry. I can't stop. I can't stop. Like, oh, it was the best. Honestly, being a teenager during the Twilight era, that was enough for me.
Oh
You
my
know,
God, yeah. The
I was
one
like,
scene in the
now
bed.
sometimes I watch the movies and I like want to cringe, but reading those books, I was like, oh no, like this is not what the author had in mind.
And I don't even remember it being like explicit, really. Like, there was
It
one
wasn't.
sex scene in the whole series,
Mm-mm.
but something about it was like horny. It was definitely very horny.
It was that just there's something about teenagers and vampires.
Oh, yeah, girl. We want
The
to get our
Vampire
blood start.
Diaries only made it worse. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Way worse.
Yeah, the movies are very cringeworthy, like you said. They come on all the time on like Stars. I can't
When they
watch.
came out, I was in the theater every single one, and now I look back and I look over at my husband going, I'm sorry. Like
Oh,
it made
what
him
were
such
we
a.
thinking? What were we doing?
I love Robert Pattinson, but that was just, they did him wrong. They did it so
They did
wrong.
him dirty. But
They
the
did.
baseball scene I still think is really fun. It's like
It
to muse.
is. Yeah. They, I've watched like the behind the scenes, and what they did was just, it was awesome. I don't think they've done anything like that since.
Oh my god, I have to watch that now and see what they did. I love the behind the scenes of like filmmaking and things like that, and I'll always
Oh, I
steal it and
do.
try to make content like that.
Oh, I just it was funny. It was like to make them look like they were running fast. They had like this pulley and they were all pulling it, so it's kind of like at theme parks. At least here in Florida, you have those where it makes you walk faster. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
walkway.
Yeah, they're at the airports too.
They have it like that, and they're like pulling them so they look like they're walking fast underneath all the leaves. And I was like,
Whoa.
that was such a clever idea.
They didn't just speed up the footage, they literally
No, they
sped
literally
them
were
up.
pulling it out from under them.
That's crazy.
It
That is
was really
crazy
cool.
technology.
It was ahead of their time.
Oh my god. That is so crazy. Twilight. Twilight was such a moment in time for sure.
Oh,
Definitely
for sure. I remember taking like a boy from our school to watch the movie with me and my best friend. He's sitting there, not thinking we're looking at him, and he's reciting the words. And I'm like, you read them too. Everybody
Oh
read.
my god. That would have been best friend for life. A
Oh
boy who
man,
knows Twilight.
it was the best. I've never
Oh my
seen anything like it. I was like, this is awesome. If only phones were like better at recording, I would have been like,
oh my god. Back then when phone recordings were like the grainiest, most disgusting thing you'd ever seen.
oh my god! And they used to look so badass back in the day. You'd be like, this
Yeah.
is quality stuff.
Yeah. Oh my
It's
god. I
super
have had
cool.
so much
Yeah.
fun chatting with you.
Oh yeah, it's super fun. I get really nervous. I'm just a nervous person, but it's funny. I'm always like that.
I get anxious before I do these all the time too. Like I just for no reason, I'm not like worried something's gonna happen, but I'm just like it's just knowing that you have to do something and talk to somebody.
Yeah, and talk to someone new. Yeah, you're very good at it.
Oh, thank you. I'm fake it till I make it. I've done a lot of talking to
Same.
people on the computer now, so I can just kind of I know what my face looks like, so I can keep it chill.
No, but you're good at keeping the conversation, which is the best part. I don't
Oh,
have to be my awkward self. It's nice.
oh my God, you're not awkward. You're the best. I feel like you're very sweet. Your name fits you so well, BB AppleHoney. I love
I
it.
I try to be myself. It bites me in the butt 90% of the time, but you know what? I try to be genuine.
Yeah. Well, that's all you really can do. I think it's too exhausting when you try to be a character all the
I
time. I
I
can't
could
do it. I
I
really
couldn't do
can't.
it. I couldn't do it.
Emma Lily is just me, a little bit more polished and a little hornier than maybe
Yeah.
my
I
ex.
do my makeup a lot more and I buy a lot more cheap lingerie.
Hmm.
And
The
then like
V-necks are yeah.
I'm a very t-shirt and jeans type of gal, okay? I want my Vans and my Converse jeans, t-shirt, I'm good.
We have to hide that hot body underneath. We have to keep it hidden. We
Oh
can't just
yeah,
let everybody know.
have to.
Okay, BB. So tell everybody that's going to watch this on YouTube, where can they find you?
Oh my god, that's a long list. Okay, so I'm on OnlyFans. Rarios is my username, so RAWI0S. I'm
This is a early 2000s girl. You can tell. Millennial.
I am on Twitter, which is growing, and I love it. So I'm BB AppleHoney on Twitter. I am Betty Goes Rar, which is even more 2000s on Reddit.
Yes.
Um, but I'm BB AppleHoney pretty much everywhere else. I'm on ManyVids. I'm Rario's on ManyVids. I'm all over the place.
Good for
Twitter's
you.
Twitter's a good one to message me on, to find me. But I have links all over.
Okay, so you heard that, guys. You need to go subscribe to OnlyFans, follow the Twitter, buy all the videos on MiniVids, and support our
Yes.
girl BB. Okay, thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a
Oh,
great
thank you. Yeah.
week. Thank you.
Yes, you too. I had so much fun.
Oh, yay. All right. Bye, everybody.